Hey everyone, it's been a while since I've posted any kind of video on the Puppet Guy page, but I am walking right now on this beautiful sunny day here on Long Island. It's 75 degrees and I am coming to you via satellite. Well, that's what they used to say back in the 70s, but it is actually on tape. And so I've been walking along the boardwalk here at Sunken Meadow State Park. Just want to show you a beautiful view of the water. Beautiful day, 75 degrees. And I'm not walking along the boardwalk because, as you can see, a lot of people, well, they all disappeared. But anyway, I wanted to just share with you what's been going on in my life these past, I guess you can say 10 months or so. A lot of amazing things. So I'm going to walk and talk and share with you what God is doing in my life and what's happening with the Puppet Guy, what's happening in my new awesome position as a pastor of outreach and children's ministries. So I'll share with you how that came about. Let me start back in December of 2021. I had all plans. I actually had two friends I confided in that I was planning on moving out of New York, and my goal was by May the 1st to be out of New York, possibly in North or South Carolina. I wasn't sure which one, but I had all those plans made. And then a couple things happened. The first was I hurt my back and had to take a few days off from work in the middle or late part of December. And then as I went back to work, I went to work with a bad cold. And as it turned out, that cold was my testing positive for COVID-19. So on December 22nd, I tested positive and I had to take an entire week off, which meant, yes, you guessed it, December 25th, I spent Christmas Day alone. It was a very difficult week from the 22nd to the 29th. But I have to say that during that time, God had really been working on my heart and really speaking to me and showing me a lot of great things that He was planning on doing. Although I didn't see it then, I do see it now that He was kind of trying to get my attention. So fast forward to January, I still had some back issues. I went for physical therapy. I went to City MD to get checked out and was basically told that there was nothing that they could do for me for my back. So it was a struggle. I still struggle with that. I'm going to be actually sharing with you not only what God's doing in my life, but also some prayer requests, as well as just bearing my heart. But during that month, I had a dear friend. Her name is Juanita Ortiz. She was encouraging me to attend her church. Her church was in Port Jefferson, so she was constantly trying to invite me to go there, and I told her, I'm going to get there eventually, Juanita, just have some issues with my back. So I missed a few Sundays going to church because of my issues with my back. So she invited me to a potluck dinner. If you know Juanita, Juanita does not give up. She will invite you and keep inviting you and keep sharing that with you, that she really wanted me to be a part of the church. Then I got a text from her, from Messenger, in late January that apparently their church was going through a transition period. So she shared with me what was going on, and I decided I should really reach out to the pastor. The pastor and I went through some very similar situations, and it was very frustrating for him. So I attended the church, I would say probably the middle of February, right after my birthday. Got to meet the pastor, Pastor Tom Strigaro, got to meet his wife, and I recognized a few people in the church who were a part of my church at Smithtown, a few people that were there attending. So Pastor Tom and I finally connected in early March, and at that point I discovered and found out that he was looking to plant a church in Rocky Point. So he invited me over for dinner. We sat and talked, and he and his family and I all had an amazing meal, and I shared my story with him, he shared his story with me. But what I really noticed with him was that we had an amazing connection. We really seemed to really connect really well. So he asked me, I'm talking like a New Yorker, asked me if I would be interested in helping him with the children's ministries And I was very shocked because I had just met him and didn't really know much about what he was planning on doing with his church. So I told him I'd pray about it. The next day was actually the first Sunday of his new church launch. He named the church through a lot of prayer and a lot of fasting. The name of the church is Lift Jesus Higher Fellowship, and they were meeting in a VFW hall in Rocky Point. So I really felt the Lord leading me to go there. I felt like I wasn't doing much as far as ministry. I figured, let me just see what it's all about, and I'll slowly get involved in this new work. And had no desire really. Was really shocked later on to find out he had offered me a position. But anyway, I really was just expecting to just help out there and just do what I could. But we, like I said, we really connected well, and started to get involved with the church. And fast forward to April. On April the 23rd, I got a phone call from John Ortiz. I've known John for many years. He is the son of Juanita, and he had called me at 7 o'clock, actually 7:10 p.m. exactly. I still have it on my phone. And his call was, "Hey, Pastor Dave, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good." And he said, "So what are you coming to church tomorrow?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll be there." So he said, "Well, I want to ask you a question." I go, "Sure. Would you be able to preach?" So I had an opportunity to preach at the church. I said yes. Had 16 hours to prepare. But let me just back up a little bit, because on my way home from Pennsylvania on Easter Sunday, the Lord kept putting this message in my heart, and I kept wondering why. Because I hadn't really preached much to adults. Had more opportunities for children. So kind of wondering what this was all about. So I said, I said yes. And the next day I had an opportunity to preach a message I had done previously in a few other churches, which was called "How Was Your Foundation?" The message came off really well. Pastor Tom actually was not able to be there because his entire family was sick. So he had to take care of his family. So I had that open door to preach. Again, the thoughts of me moving May 1st were not going to happen, mainly because of finances, mainly because of my back issues. So I had a lot of medical bills I had to pay. But anyway, I got involved with the church. Had very few opportunities to share with children as far as a puppet guy. So I was kind of wondering, all right, Lord, what are you trying to show me? What is your plan? You know, you're not moving me towards North Carolina or South Carolina. I actually went to visit a friend in North Carolina in May, and he showed me around. We looked at places where I could possibly live. And I thought, all right, maybe there's a possibility. But as I came back, it was kind of evident to me that God had been moving in my life, and I guess looking to keep me here in New York, and to share here in New York and work not only at Chick-fil-A, but also get involved in ministry. Pastor Tom asked me again to preach in August, and at that point he had come to me in July and had said, "I'd like for you to come on staff as the pastor of outreach and children's ministries," and I told him, absolutely, I would love to. It is not a position where I am being paid, and I'm okay with that. I'm just thrilled to be back serving the Lord as a pastor. A lot of people have said, "Well, good, now we can call you Pastor Dave again." And I said, "I've always been a pastor." So anyway, I got a chance to preach in August, and again, September 18th, I got another opportunity to preach. But I started seeing what the Lord was kind of showing me, that He really wanted me to get back to pastoring, and also giving me the chance to mentor Pastor Tom with my experience as a pastor and give him some ideas. So I've been basically doing not only work with children, but also, I would say, more of like an executive kind of pastor, where I've been helping him come up with ideas for the church. And so we've been meeting on Tuesday mornings and being able to just pray together and come up with ideas. And so a few of the ideas I shared with him was to get our church motivated in supporting missionaries and supporting local missionaries, rather. So we started in October to support 3 missionaries They are the Lighthouse Mission here in Long Island, Bellport. Also Soundview Pregnancy Center, which is in Center Reach, right down the block from me. And also another ministry that's called Live-In, that they help the veterans. So it's been a wonderful experience working with him. As far as the puppet guy, I have not retired. I am still available to come to schools, just not Sundays anymore, or I can come to your church and share. But the Lord has been giving me some new characters I've been working on. I share with you about my robot called Clint. I have a bee puppet that we call the BB, the Beatbox Bee. And I have a the rock puppet Rocky. I'm working on him. And also been working on coming up with ideas for using toys to use them for commercials. And as far as the church I'm in now, we're working on an idea for the end of December called Kids Winterfest. That'll be December I believe it's the 20th to 30th in the morning. Our church is renting out a VFW hall, so we're praying that we get a lot of kids there, and our theme is Hawaiian Beach Party. So I've been working on that as well. As far as personally, I have been still continue to be full-time with Chick-fil-A in Comac. In fact, today is 7 years that I am with Chick-fil-A. So today's October the 7th. So can't believe I made it that far. But it's been great. It's been a great ride. And as far as prayer requests, I could use prayer for my back. I am still struggling with my back, with issues with that. And I do a lot of walking, and I don't do as much in the gym as I used to. But I've been trying to take care of my back and pray for that. I had a number of things done in May, and also in August. I had what's called a medial branch block, but neither one of those things did anything for me. So it's been a struggle. So I really need prayer. My own doctor had told me that they will not give me pain meds for it, and I'm finding out through the grapevine that they're not giving out pain meds because there's a lot of people who abuse the pain meds, and so it leads me to believe that the Lord is going to heal me. I'm believing that with my whole heart, that God wants to heal my back. But in the meantime, we are closing our Chick-fil-A for about a month, possibly, for renovations. So I will be getting paid there for 20 hours a week instead of 40. The other 20 hours a week, I'm going to have to figure out what I can do. So if you can keep that in prayer, I need to find another job. I really don't want to do anything strenuous with my back. Hoping that this break will help me to heal if I'm away from Chick-fil-A. They have the option of also going to Smithtown Chick-fil-A. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but if you can keep that in prayer, I appreciate that. And that's pretty much it. Really excited about what God is doing in my life and how He's continuing to use me. We don't have very many kids in our church here, so my position is not just with children, but also as the outreach pastor and kind of being the second hand to our Pastor Tom Strugaro. So we're praying that the church will grow. My long-term goal is very simple. I would like one day to plant a church. I have wanted to do that for many, many years. And I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know when. All I do know is that I believe God is calling me to help start churches and then hand them off to another pastor to continue it. And I think that my working with Pastor Tom is a step in that direction where I'll be helping him, although he is already the lead pastor or senior pastor. I think down the road I will be helping the churches that plant churches, get them started, and then continuing that process, moving on to another church. That's really where my heart is right now, because I love children's ministries. I am getting older, so the white hair kind of shows that, I guess. But yes, I would like to plant some churches and just there's a real need out there for that. There's a real need for the churches that need to be planted. I do believe one day that we're going to be forced, unfortunately, to be meeting in houses and smaller facilities. So I believe that's also going to happen as well. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, allowing me to share my heart as I continue to walk. Got pretty far. Kind of see where I am right now. Wonderful. Oops, lost the camera there. Wonderful Long Island day. Beautiful day. So always love to come here and walk and just a chance to pray and just really be close to the ocean. One thing I do love about Long Island, it's not the traffic, it's not the people. I'm not too fond of the New York attitude. I do love the beaches. I do love to go for walks, especially on this boardwalk here. It's basically right up the highway from where I work. So every once in a while, if it's a nice day, I'll try to come and get some steps in and get some miles in for walking. But God bless you all so much. I can't thank you all enough for praying for me as I've been on this journey. And God is just doing amazing things for me. And I love the Lord so much. And I'll never give up on Him. I'll never give up on His plan for my life. So thank you again so much. I'm going to sign off right now and post this on my Puppet Guy page on Facebook. So God bless you all. Love you all so much. And some of you from my friends from Northeastern, I haven't seen you for quite a while, but it's great to connect with you all. Also my friends from my previous church, Smithtown Gospel Tabernacles, great to connect with you. And my new family with Lift Jesus Higher Fellowship. Love connecting with you and seeing you every Sunday. And love you all. God bless.